Salam, everyone. I just gotta ask, who's cosplaying? See, cosplaying is when you dress up as something that you aren't or someone you aren't. I am a Muslim woman. I wear what a Muslim woman wears. I dress like that. So, who's cosplaying here? 1, I am Muslim. 2, not a fake woman. I'm a real woman, just as any other woman out there.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
I think the one thing that sticks out to me most about clips like the one we just saw, I mean, besides the whole thing being completely and utterly ridiculous, is the language. You notice how that fella said, I am a real woman. Not I am a trans woman, a real woman. They know if they change the language, they change the meaning of words, and that's ultimately how they usher in their agenda.
You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked? Funny, just this once, you're correct.
Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Now, I've been without power for the past 2 or 3 days. We had some vicious storms up here in northern New England, a lot of heavy rain and wind, so I'm just trying to get the cobwebs out, get back into the swing of things. As I always say, I have an obligation to keep you guys updated on the happenings of Clown World, so I threw this video together, and as usual, we have very little time to waste. So, let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, now, this rotund fella is Lexi. Now, Lexi is a biological man who identifies as a trans woman. Lexi does use lesbian dating apps and ladies' restrooms. What?
I've got more chins than a Chinese phone book!
Alright, let's keep this party rolling with everybody's favorite paid establishment shill, Harry. Harry. Now, actor Robert De Niro has made some fantastic movies during his career, but he has become a very angry, bitter old man who suffers from a severe case of TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome. Now, Harry seems to cheer on the fact that Robert De Niro has lost his f***ing mind. Roll it.
Wow, so in a brand new interview, actor Robert De Niro went after Donald Trump and he absolutely destroyed him. Now, De Niro and Trump have had some beef for a long time, but in this new interview, De Niro really let loose on him. For example, De Niro was asked about a viral video of a Staten Island Trump supporter destroying a framed portrait of him, and De Niro said, Trump brings out the worst in people. He's a monster. I didn't think that in the beginning when he was first elected. I thought maybe he'll straighten out. Now, this guy is beyond dangerous, and I just hope people can realize it. Once you go down that road, it won't be easy to come back. And then De Niro was asked, do you think Biden is the right guy to take on Trump? And he said, I think that if Biden was on a gurney and couldn't move anything but his eyes to blink yes or no, he's our person. There's no way that he's not the guy to take Trump down. Nikki Haley, maybe. We need anything to get rid of Trump. And then he goes on to say, but Biden is the best person at this point. All I hope is that everybody gets out to vote, and all the minorities and young people get out and vote. You got to get out there and vote. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic and a very important message. And Robert De Niro is 100% right. Donald Trump truly is dangerous. He's a monster. He brings out the worst in people. There's so much division in America right now because of Donald Trump. And look, I know there are a lot of people out there who don't love President Biden, and that's okay. That's your right. But don't compare Biden to the almighty. Compare him to the alternative, which is Donald Trump, who's a lunatic.
You must have got manure for your brains.
You've shit for brains.
So there you have it, the young lad Harry, America's favorite paid establishment shill. Anyway, next up, so this is what happens when you watch far too much mainstream media. Roll it.
I have white privilege. I'm white.
No shit, Sherlock.
And even though I'm a woman and I've been on the receiving end of some extreme sexism, I still do not know what it's like to be a person of color for years and years, let alone today. And it's important that I understand that. So yesterday, I took time to read some articles. I watched some videos. I read some podcasts. I did some research at the Black Lives Matters campaign for Canada to find out where I can put my voice. As a relationship coach, I'm well aware of how privilege shows up and rank in relationships, and it just turns them on their head, and it's so enormously toxic. However, just because, again, I deal with it in my work, it's not like the same as being on the receiving end of it. I want to know, where are you putting your voice that's going to matter? Where are you putting your money that matters? Because I want some help so that I can do a better job myself. Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much.
Oh, don't give me that liberal bullshit.
So as I mentioned just a minute ago, it's been about 3 days since I've uploaded a video, so you guys have had plenty of time to recover from all the brain aids, which is a good thing because you are about to get a massive dose. Meet Asa. Asa's pronouns are they, z, bone, brittle. What? Roll it.
Hi, my name is Asa. I am a member of the DID system, and I'm also a bearded vulture Therian. I have 2 questions. One is for other Therians, specifically bird Therians, and the other question is for other systems who have Therian system members. So first question for other bird Therians, what are some things you do that help you feel more connected to your stereotype? Like, I know that for people whose stereotypes are 4-legged, they can do quadrobics, and that helps them a lot. But obviously that's not applicable to bird Therians. I also want to clarify for anyone who doesn't know, quadrobics does not automatically equal Therians. People can do quadrobics and not be a Therian. So that's my first question, how to feel more connected to bird stereotypes. And second question is for systems with Therian alters. Do these alters appear human in our world, or do they appear as their stereotype in our world? Or is it kind of a combo situation? Like, we have someone in our system who is both a guy and a vulture at the same time. We don't consider him a Therian because he doesn't consider himself a Therian. He just kind of exists as both of those things at once. Is that how Therian alters work in you guys' systems? Just very curious about how other people experience this kind of thing.
What did you say? What the did you just say?
I'm a member of the DID system, and I'm also a bearded vulture Therian.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Now keep in mind, that young lady we just heard from can vote. Anyway, next up, so we've seen this person here on the channel a few times before. Supposed to be tattoos all over the face, tattooed eyeballs and such, but it just looks like someone smeared a bunch of ink on this person's face. That's not good. Anyway, the comment says, not being mean, but what is the difference in queer and gay? Roll it.
We see gay usually means somebody of the same sex being attracted to somebody else of the same sex. And because I differ in my attractions, and it's kind of a mouthful to go, well, I'm hetero-romantic, but I'm bisexual or pansexual. So, like, I really only romantically find masculine-ish people emotionally attractive, but that's also not even true, because I've dated tons of people in all spectrums of life, but I usually just say I'm hetero-romantic and pansexual, but it's easier, I'm queer, and then it leaves all the boxes open, and then I don't exclude anyone, and I don't miss anyone that maybe would have been really good for me, but because I said a certain thing, they didn't think that I was a person they wanted to talk to. So.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
All right, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen for your viewing pleasure, of course. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by Thomas Butler, who wanted me to shout out, and I'm going to read it so I don't get it wrong. Support our troops at supportourtroops.org and check your local tag office for a Support Our Troops car tag. So Thomas Butler, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, sir, and thank you so much for shouting out supportourtroops.org. I really appreciate that. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, get this guy off the screen, please. I've seen enough of this for one day. Oof.
Stop being a girly man.
All right, next up. So we've seen this fella here on the channel before. He likes to do these very visual presentations where he uses different types of props and such, mostly baked goods, to describe gender. Roll it.
Represents everyone in the world who was born with the body parts that I was born with. You know, like one of these. And this blue circle represents everyone in the world who identifies as a man. Now, when you make a Venn diagram from these circles, they overlap, but not entirely. This is because the parts you're born with don't actually determine your gender. They only suggest what your gender is most likely going to be. It works a lot like attraction between men and women. Most men are attracted to women, most men, but some men are attracted to other men. With the same kind of thinking, people who are born with the body parts that I was born with are usually men. They're most likely going to be men, but not always. Sometimes they're women. The problem here is that when babies are born, we assign them a gender based on their body parts, and that's really just an educated guess. In a perfect world, we'd hold off assigning kids a gender until they're old enough to tell us themselves. That way, no one has to pretend to be someone they're not. Hi.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
All right, next up we have Jeffrey, our old pal Jeffrey. Now, this isn't Jeffrey's video, as you'll see someone stitched theirs onto Jeffrey's, and they take a dig at Jeffrey. And I will admit, I did chuckle a little bit when I first saw this. Roll it.
Stop telling trans people that we're inspirational.
It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Got him! Got him!
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Democrats and liberals and progressives, aren't they supposed to be the tolerant left? They're supposed to be the ones that are inclusive and accepting and loving, right? Well, this lovely blue-haired lady hopes that GOP voters, Republican voters, and their loved ones catch diabetes. That doesn't sound too tolerant to me. Roll it.
Good afternoon. If you're a Republican voter, I want you to listen real close. I sincerely hope that someone who you can't live without, who your life would fall apart if that person disappeared off the face of the earth. If you're a Republican voter, if you are a die-hard GOP voter, I sincerely hope the person you love most gets a surprise attack of diabetes. I hope it comes out of nowhere. I hope it slaps you upside the head so fast and so hard that it leaves you traumatized. Diabetes.
What a
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of Vice President Chlamydia Harris speaking to Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC. Now, keep in mind as you listen to this word salad that just yesterday, Chlamydia Harris tweeted that they need to ban assault weapons from the American people as millions of illegal immigrants, mostly military-age men, pour across our southern border. Keep in mind as you listen to this word salad that Chlamydia Harris was all about forcing the Fauci sauce on the American people. She wanted it mandated for everyone. Keep in mind as you listen to this word salad that Chlamydia Harris said of the BLM rioters, they shouldn't let up, and they won't let up, as her team bailed a bunch of them out of jail. Keep all that in mind as you listen to this nonsense. And guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there, so please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Till next time, I love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
You know, every election cycle we talk about this is the most election of our lifetime. Lawrence, this one is. We are literally talking about people who are attempting to divide our country in the most crude, frankly, and profound way. We are talking about those who are intent and purposeful to attack fundamental freedoms, be it the freedom to make a decision about your own body, the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride, the freedom to be free from fear of violence and hate, the freedom to just be, What the hell did you just say? You know, every election cycle we talk about this is the most election of our lifetime. Lawrence, this one is. This one is.
I don't know what the you're talking about.
And you ain't black.